to dip into these guys. The same people were on my stream yesterday.
Yeah, we are live.
Hello. Here we go. Same people. We have it.
Let's get at it. Get at it, chat.
Same people on my stream yesterday. I get it. Lads, I'm sorry I'm giving up post show. But I am. Same people.
Yes, we are live and we are live. Morning chat, morning Kev, morning Reds, morning or evening, wherever you are watching around the world. Yes, obviously if you see my little shorts that I've done after the show, I was a bit concerned defensively, like a lot of us, but it's pre-season. Been doing YouTube for about 6-7 years anyway. It's the usual things usually happen. There was a long time ago where Kenny Dalglish and Ian Rush were losing friendlies, and look what happened then. So yeah, Kev, how are we, mate?
It's crack. Got off my game. The amount of people giving out about Lavia. There's not enough. It's not enough. I was saying to Jack pre-season, the same people were on my stream yesterday, and it was just like they're never happy. They're never happy, Jack.
Yeah, transfer silly season is well in full swing. But morning, panel. Morning, mate. Hope you're having a good day, mate. Morning, Jen. Hope you've had a lovely day, mate. And you're absolute bloody legends. And Andrew's in the chat. And if you are watching on the repeat, do get your comments in. As I said, if you can't jump in the live, we will always get to your comments and just have a debate amongst each other as well. Big up there, Evidence. Morning, matey. Obviously, it is evening, wherever in the world, anyway. But big up there, Ans. Hope you're well, matey. But yeah, just everyone saying hello. Morning, Andrew, as well. Big up, Kev. Good to see you back. I'm really happy you enjoyed the trip. Yeah,
I did.
I was going to say, just anyone that didn't know, where did you go this week?
Yeah, we went. I went to Germany. I was just kind of setting up some things for a big gig that we're doing over there. It's actually around Paddy's week, in next March. But we're playing to the entire Odeonsplatz, which is if you go into the middle outside the Ludwig statue and all of that. There's two giant lions' heads, and then a stage comes off of that, and then you're playing to literally about 2 or 3 kilometers of people in one line. It's like the Champs-Elysees in France. So we got that coming up in March, and then various venue gigs around things. So I was setting that up, but I also did a big mad tour of the Allianz Arena, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, so I have a video coming up with that pretty soon.
Yeah, morning Doug as well. Morning lads and everyone in chat. Yeah, I love that stadium, mate. Obviously, I've never been, but seeing it on telly, mate. I've been to the Camp Nou. Is the Allianz like one of those stadiums where you get in, you step onto the halfway line or whatnot, and you just like you get encapsulated by the sheer magnitude of the size of the stadium?
Yeah, man, it's absolute shithole. No, some parts are kind of old school. You kind of you'll see it in the video, but it's you kind of no matter what part of the stadium you enter, it's like completely open around the middle of it to see into the pitch. So it's a strange. So like the steps are just going up over each opening point, and you could see no matter where you are when you're on the ground level entering the stadium into that pitch, and it's kind of like all right. So you could see the atmosphere booming out. I don't know how they keep the atmosphere until I got in there, but then I seen that the roof, the way it's designed, kind of keeps the atmosphere in there. It was pretty cool. Like all the dressing room was a little like Liverpool's dressing room.
Is it too small? The away dressing room?
Yeah, it's just I didn't even show me the away dressing room. They just showed me the home ones, and the home one was tiny. It was like an away dressing room in Liverpool. Yeah, our one kind of craps all over it, to be honest with you. But yeah, you go in there. They were kind of doing up the new one, but it was like a giant bathtub up on top of the steps when you enter, and then it's just grey. Everything's just grey inside there. And then the old one that they're kind of using, where you'll see the video where they got the jerseys going around, it's tiny. Yeah. So you're talking about big lads that play for 6 foot odd lads that play for
big German lads as well.
Yeah, and they must put on each other's boots over each other's legs. It's that kind of it's weird, man. Yeah. So yeah,
I'd be surprised. I'd be ducking and diving between them all, mate. It'd be easy.
Yeah, the media room is fantastic. So the most beautiful part of the whole stadium is the entrance you see it on Champions League nights. You see the lights coming down the side of the stairs, and it's got like Bayern Munich like all lit up with the logo and the Champions League nights, and it's the steps coming down, but it's the steps to go back up, and the actual ground in the stadium or the ground for the where it's level with the pitch actually opens up like that, and you come up out of the steps onto the pitch that way. So it's pretty cool. You see it on TV, but you don't take much notice of it. But then when you do it in real life, it's like, wow. like a trap door. That's cool.
Yeah, I love the Camp Nou chat. Love Anfield, so of course we all
Yeah.
do. Chat, if
Yeah.
you've been to any away grounds anyway in terms of tours, let us know
Yeah.
in the comments. So, and if you are watching on the repeat, let us know. But yeah, the Camp Nou, when you come off from that tunnel, it's bloody massive. Like it just,
Yeah, that's
I'd love to have played, or all of us. I'd tell you, it'd be magical if you were playing on that pitch.
I'd love to run from one side of the pitch to the other on that pitch and then fall over with exhaustion.
Was they start shushing them?
It's just, yeah, I'm back in a second.
See you later. Did you mention
the
Sadio
perfect
Mane?
impression of my accent? What? Yeah.
Did you mention Sadio Mane?
Yeah, I just kept walking around telling everybody how Sadio Mane was my favourite player, and they were all just looking at me like this. We don't speak about this.
Yeah, he's ripped us off for 40 million. You sold us
42.5 million euro. But
sold us the wrong Sadio Mane.
I met some good guys over there and all of that, and they've invited the staff have invited me back over for I'll get some Champions League footage, but they've invited me over for a Champions League game when I'm over doing that concert that week, between the 13th and the 19th of March. So look out for that. I've been invited along as a guest by some of the staff that were inside that were really nice to me. So that's pretty cool.
Happy days. Always good to get some connections, mate.
Yeah.
Big up there, Chas. We get to answer first comments and those. We'll get any comments in as well, Chas. We will be speaking about the Lavia news. There's a couple of tweets that have come out this morning. We'll talk about it. And obviously we'll speak about the preseason game. Won't dwell too much. I've got to mention Matip and Gomez, because that's what I mentioned on my shorts as well. What the season does entail for them, or what do we need to do at the back. But we'll get to that when we do. But as I'm saying, remember when Sky used to only show preseason highlights far too much, analysis and preseason? Yeah, and this preseason game, innit, mate? Like, we'll speak about it. That's what we'll do, and now we'll debate with each other and that. But come what the first week, the first game against Chelsea, Kev, that's the most important thing.
Yeah,
that would be the first and foremost target going in. Keeping everyone fit going into that Chelsea game is the priority, really. And of course, you can get a bit of momentum, get a couple of lads score, and then that's where the confidence will start to build.
The most deceiving thing about anything to do with pre-season is the fact that we pretty much hammered City in the Charity Shield or the Community Shield last year, and then we don't have a terrible start of the season.
Yeah.
So take pre-season with a pinch of salt, because the first few games is always to give a chance to the young fellas to show their worth alongside some of the better lads coming into the main team, I should say. To show what they can do, and maybe possibly put them on a serving plate to loan clubs out there. So that's what it's all about. But at the same time, you have to remember, Liverpool tend to like, you always say, oh my God, it's Screwed Furth, oh my God, it's Carlo. But you have to realise that Liverpool play teams in pre-season that already have almost a month's training done on them. So they're coming in there fresh off of maybe a week or so training, and these guys are 4 or 5 weeks into their training. So they've already got a standard fitness level. No matter what kind of level of club that they are, they've got a standard fitness level above Liverpool. And the fact that, we're starting off pretty good with the mix of players that we had. There was contrast yesterday in the game. First half team, very good, very controlling, very accomplished. Luis Diaz, phenomenal. Gakpo really well in that midfield. Jota was, he was a nuisance to their defence. Even Ben Doak was fantastic, I do as well. I like him.
Anytime anyone mentions Ben Doak, I was on Connor's show, mate. Don't know if you watched it. I'm just smiling like all of us. As long as he can keep his head down, which he will. I think he's got good people around him. He's got Jurgen Klopp. I'm pretty sure he's got an amazing family as well. But if he can keep fit and...
What did I say to you yesterday? I said he's got at the moment he's got the former Curtis Jones and Milan Barros syndrome at the moment, which is he's young for. He's got everything in his bag. Just look up slightly earlier just to see that early pass, and if he brings that into his game, he's in the Liverpool main squad. Yeah, no, it could be starting 11, but he'd be in the Liverpool main squad straight away. He just needs to get that head up. Brilliant with his ball, with the ball at his feet. He's a bulldog and a terrier. Yeah, he can pass everybody, but that's the thing, because he can do that. Sometimes he misses the ideal pass. So if he can just bring that into his game, he's laughing, and then he's ready to go.
Yeah, 100%. Get to Redbird's comments as well. And we'll speak about pre-season. We'll get straight into the Lavia news in a little second chat. Get through everyone's comments as well. I've never known us to have so many toxic fans. They'll never be satisfied, even if we never lose a game. They'll always find something to whinge about. Yeah, the thing is, you'd never well, you would get debate if you went to pub with your mates or whatnot when I was younger as well, or even when I go to pub now. Like, you can have a civil conversation, but on Twitter you can't because you haven't got the person in front of you. Like, even if you don't agree to someone's point in the pub or your mates or whatever, you'd have debate, and that's sensible debate. But like, so as
Do you know what they are, Jack? Do you know what they are? They're new fans. They're new fans. They're people that came over from another club to support, and they're the most noisiest on Twitter. They're also people that haven't supported for years when they're like, I remember I supported in the 70s, but then sure we became crap, so I got out of football for a while, but now I'm back everywhere for the last 6 seasons because they're amazing, and I'm talking this and talking that and talking, you know, just lads, pay no attention to these guys. Just watch the people that you want to watch, you know, have good conversations in places like this with other fans that are, you know, have some sort of knowledge and respect level for the club. So do it that way and you're laughing. That's, I call a spade a spade. So you can call me out on that if you want, but yeah, I find them fickle.
Spot on, and I think a lot of people would agree in there with your Redbirds, 100%, miss. Lavia and another midfielder is being worked on, I've heard. Yeah, it'll be, as we've said all season, Andrew, when we've been speaking about the transfers, there'll be a lot of ups and downs, a lot of articles that will be written. Hence why we are a news channel as well. We speak about the rumours, we debate the rumours as well. But until, as I said, as everyone says really, like until a player is holding up a Liverpool shirt and it's announced on Liverpool's official sources, club sources, then we've signed that player as well. But it's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks. We all know we need to, and we'll speak about that later anyway. But big up there, Jug as well. Big up Red. Come on, Mouse. Big up Red Bear. Welcome to the 2000s low. It in and out spoiled. Some people are. And that's what happens when, as Kev alluded to, when you are as successful as Liverpool have been in the last 5-6 years, there was a new breed of supporter that is coming in. But if you ask any manager off camera, they'd say they prefer training sessions over friendlies and a huge tour for the PR as well. But it's part and parcel, Kev, as I said there, mate. You need to generate revenue, and clubs will massively be getting so much money. And I love it no matter more, because I'm in such a privileged position. People that live in Liverpool or people that travel to Anfield and have the facilities to come the game as well. But like fans in Singapore, like even last time we went to Singapore, even the MGM Arena in Australia, I think it's that stadium. It's massive, but that still gets talked about. A couple of family members that live in Australia, and that still to this day is talked about years after. And it's just, even like if it's one game, that can mean so much to all the supporters around the world, mate. Like, even if it's not like the first team, it's still Liverpool Football Club. It's still seeing Jurgen Klopp, and it's creating those special memories as well for me, mate.
Yeah. Look, the club realise how big the fan base is, and you know how much Liverpool is loved as a club around the world. And you know, Brighton's right there. It's the MCG arena. I remember that because you said the MGM, because I think that's where the wrestling happens and the boxing happens in Las Vegas, isn't it? Or something. That was MGM Grand. Yeah, I think so. Was it Van Dijk,
Tombstone, and the Charleston all
close that. But like, yeah, look, they look after the fans fairly well. I mean, even as an Irish fan, I got to see them play Napoli pre-season for once when they came there a couple of seasons back. And that was fantastic, you know, to watch. And it was Fabinho's first outing, I think, in the Liverpool shirt as well, if I remember rightly. So he was outstanding in that game when he came in. And look, it's so important to the fan base that they do get to see their heroes on you know, on the pitch in front of them, and it's surreal moments from, and it's etched, these kind of scenarios etch in the head. But and it's right, like, you know, the coaches themselves would prefer to have not all that flair and prefer to just do their job and get it done on the pitch. But they do understand that this is part and parcel of coming with the thing. But
It's
yeah,
also you're spot on there, Kev. It's also for the players as well.
yeah,
Like McAllister, and because
yeah.
I don't think these players, well, the players understand how big Liverpool is, but even the players when we won the FA Cup and the League Cup that season, I don't think the players really anticipated. Like as Jürgen said, we are special supporters around the world. Like no other club, possibly probably Real Madrid or possibly Man United, but in terms of getting that many fans in Liverpool, like, and giving the players a boost, which it was needed anyway. And it was it's the magnitude of the sheer scale of how big Liverpool Football Club is. In all honesty,
They'll find out when they get to they'll find out when they get to Singapore. I mean, it happens in Thailand, it happens everywhere. They're going to get swarmed. They're going to be treated like absolute. I mean,
like the
everybody over
Beatles.
here. Like the
Basically like
Beatles,
the Beatles.
yeah, they are. It's pretty much like that, you know. And that's just the way. That's just the way it is for footballers, you know. And these folks over there don't get to see the team ever in their lives, let alone get a chance to come across. And like I remember talking to a few Chinese lads before, really nice guys. They were sitting down a few seats from me in the cop one time, and it was the first time over, and they'd spend something like nearly 16 grand to get there, and like their ticket was like $1 grand alone or something. So like some of the sacrifices some people make just to watch the club is overlooked by by certain elements of the fan base. Let's call them top reds, but like they're overlooked in that kind. I'm a top red, yeah, I know, yeah. But like it's overlooked by this kind of by most the sacrifices some of these fans will make just to come and see the club play. So it's brilliant that the club take it out of there, bring the team to see these guys rather than the opposite way around every so often. So it's fantastic to have it done.
100%, 100%. Obviously, big up there, Redbeard. Darwin, 2 goals and 1 assist. Still the haters pile, more hate on my number 9. Salah should have had 2, and Jota should have scored. Where's the hate for them? You know who you are. I criticised Jota last season. I think everyone did in terms of Redbeard, mate, didn't we? Because we know there's a player in there. If he can stay fit, as we discussed today, he's our most. Would you say Kevin Chat? One of our most. I'd say he's our most clinical finisher.
He is, yeah. He's deadly. He's a deadly finisher. 30. He went 32 games and was scoring a goal, but he had a few injuries in between that, and it was like from the end of one season to the start of the next with that injury pickup and the whole lot. So we can't include that. Really, if you think of it, he went about, because he was out for a certain amount of games, about 9 games in total where he didn't really score, where he was fit enough to be able to score. So we have to look into that as well. But no, we kind of batted an eyelid. I kind of did say that I don't like how injury prone he's gotten in the last couple of seasons. So if there was an opportunity to bring in, as I said, like a Sosley or somebody like that, I didn't say that, but somebody of that ilk to come into the club and play, or somebody who's available to come in, and because we've got so much up front that we've kind of got too much there. But if they did, I would have taken like massive 70 million off Newcastle if they were taking him that time.
Our last chat as well. Who, going into this new season, chat, or just in general, who is Liverpool's most clutch player? A lot of people probably would say Salah and Alisson. Like, if you need a save from Ali, you'll probably do it in the big moments. But I'd put Jota up there, mate. Like, in all honesty. Like, you think about like when he come off the bench in the FA Cup games and the League Cup games. I know I want to go to those competitions, but it's still a trophy at the end of the day. And even in the big moments, he's if he's coming off the bench or if he's starting the season, I think and even when it was like games when he has played for Liverpool, it's always like the 2-1. I think prior to his injury, that big injury he had, he was always getting those match winners for me. It seemed like he was scoring the winner every single week. And that's what we very much need going into the new season, Kevin Chatley.
Yeah.
When we are losing Bobby, I know Bobby wasn't really like prominent in front of goal in terms of getting a lot of goals, but I think for the
big sister though.
Yeah, he was so important in terms of the fabric of the club, Kev. I'd put Jota up there for me, miss.
Yeah. Like, so far, when you kind of have to step back from Jota and kind of look at him from different angles, really, if you're going to judge him and what he does. But the fact that we've got 2 different types of let's call them play through the centre strikers, in the way they play, it can only bode well for Liverpool, because when like Divock Origi is a cult hero, you know, he's the goat, you know, at doing what he did for us. But you know, obviously Jota's a far better finisher than him. He's far better on the ball, you know, and Origi just popped up in like the strangest of, if you wanted an ultimate ending to an episode on TV show, Divock Origi would give you that. You know, you just pop up out of nowhere.
So happy he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah. So, but like sorry, Tom. But like but like Jota, he's very clinical. He can score with his head. He can score with his feet. He can score in the volley as well. The thing is that he's not enough of a presence when we're on an attack for an early ball. Really, that the same that Nunez is. He's not as much of a nuisance. He's more of a sneaky player. Whereas Nunez is like, I'll just barrel past you and I'll get into that position and I'm making the early runs or whatever. Jota will turn up late to the party,
like the
and
assassin.
Then score a goal. He's like the assassin, you know. So it's good to have both now on the side, which I can, you know, I when I'm sitting over the summer and like at the start of the summer, I was thinking maybe look, his injury levels, I'd take the 70 million from him and go. But now I'm kind of thinking we're going to need that type of player to come in and do what Nunez can't, and vice versa. So I think they complement each other really well for the position that they play.
I think I'd say he's like probably if Liverpool are. I don't think we'd be great if he would go for the title, but I think he might be potentially the difference between a title or trophies or whatnot. That type of player, mate, 100%.
I can see us going for a title. I can't see where anybody else has really improved that much. Bar maybe Chelsea have done a lot of stuff, but can they turn over a 30 or 40 point deficit in one season? I can't see that. We can turn over an 18 point deficit in a season, no problem. So I would I wouldn't put it past us to be up there within the talk. We have to be positive in that way. We've made two good signings in the middle of the park. I think if Lavia comes in and another one comes in, we're looking at that one, but we'll get to that in a second when we're talking.
Yeah. Oh, good, lad. Oh, good. Big up there, Niall. Big up, matey. I would have dropped you a link, mate, but I'm not too sure if it didn't work at the minute. But definitely Niall, I've got the schedule up anyway. Send your links out, mate, very soon. But make sure you head over to the upper tier. Let's get now to 1,000 subscribers, please. Mods, drop Niall's channel link in the comments there, please, mate. Big up there.
Get me to 1,000 while you're at it as well.
Yeah, get Kev as well. Get Kev to 10,000. There we go. As well. Absolutely legend. What are you on now, lad?
400 and something only. But on Facebook, I passed the 3,000 mark the other day, but I'm doing really well there. But it's I'd rather kind of keep it as much to Liverpool with everybody else or to YouTube as much as everybody else as I can. But I do like Facebook too.
Yeah. The mums and dads are on Facebook, aren't they? Well, a lot of people are on Facebook. But yeah, it's quite good. Big up there, Kev. Big up Russell as well. Absolute legend, mate. For the one enjoying the preseason, for one, I'm enjoying the preseason games. The only problem is LFC TV. Yeah, Jen, I know. Well, it's been a reoccurring thing over the last couple of years. Sadly, Jen, a lot of people have had issues. I think there was one season where no one streamed. Like everyone was paying for the membership, but like it was like the worst part of the season. I think it was last season, but hopefully it's sorted, Jen. Anyway, I'll do Niall. Club is a massive global, not a holiday location. You can do that. You can bump in a follow fan. Big up there as well, mates. Brian, exactly. I believe Weird Big of Gone has stayed in with some finished. Big up there, chat. Everyone just saying hello to each other. Poland's, yeah, just also to one another. There's Everest and there's Bonkers. Big up there, lads, as well. Did Amrabat reject Liverpool and choose United?
No,
probably not, mate. It's probably just not up to the caliber expected, really. I'd say, yeah, like there was talk in the World Cup when we done our shows and the watch-alongs, Kev on there in chat. But I think Amrabat's one of those players that his agent has literally offered him to absolutely everyone. There was talk in the January transfer window, just gone last summer, that I think Barca wanted him, but they wanted him for free. And I was like, bloody hell. But he's probably a talented player, but there's a reason why United getting him, because they're absolutely desperate at the minute for anyone. Why would I feel like we need a better backup keeper? Why do I feel? Oh, yeah, Everest.
You do.
Yeah, we'll get to that, mate. That's a big talking point in debate. But big up, matey. Hope you're well. Brian also said on their job at the club surprised none. Went through it, and sadly none. And hoping Gerrard would go to a championship club. Yeah, better experience. These are all talking about the big up their chats. These are all talking amongst each other as well. Quickly get to
with regards to Gerrard, I wouldn't surprise me if Gerrard went over there, did a stinker of a job, and had a clause in his contract to get paid his money anyway, and then just came back and worked for a championship side. And it wouldn't surprise me if he did. He's probably clever enough to do that with his agent, So I wouldn't surprise me if he went over there, lost all these games, and then just said, "Yeah, I'm out of here."
That's it seems to be a rare caring thing with most modern day managers, mate, isn't it? And just like to get a big payday. Was it the ex Newcastle manager? What was his name? The fella that the ex Crystal Palace manager, he danced on the
Pardew.
Yeah, I swear his contract was getting paid off by Mike Ashley for about what seemed like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, because obviously he didn't.
It was like 2 seasons ago or something. His 8-year contract would have finished or something. That was it, wasn't it? Yeah.
Something crazy, mate. But chat, we'll get to all your other comments as well. Wanted to make sure that we got through all your comments. Apologies if you have missed one chat, but we'll get straight into the first one as well. This afternoon, well, this morning, sorry. Florian Plattenberg did tweet news in relation to Romeo Lavia. Understand that LFC is the top favourite now. Lavia wants to join Liverpool and has given the green light. No agreement between the clubs yet, but concrete negotiations are ongoing. His price is valued at around £50 million. Klopp wants him, and that has come from Sky Sports, Belgium as well. And there's another tweet this morning as well. Dave O'Cop, who's been absolutely on the money in relation to the Jordan Henderson news as well. The first journalist very much to break the news that Henderson wanted to leave for Saudi Arabia. So big up, Dave. Dave OC Cop. Liverpool have reportedly agreed personal terms with Romeo Lavia, with the direct negotiations now taking place between the clubs. More, obviously, the links to his article are very much in the description. Kev, interesting, mate. It's Lavia, by all accounts, the journalist this morning saying that Liverpool have looking like they've agreed personal terms. Happy. I am happy because I think if Liverpool did bring him in, he's a hugely talented player. Yes, he's 19 years old. He's still got a lot to prove. But I'm loving this age profile of Liverpool. Of course, you'll probably mention the experience that we do potentially need. But I think in terms of the long-term aspiration of Liverpool, mate, I think Liverpool can create this younger, youthful squad like we used to about 5-6 years ago, which Jürgen did, and then build and then improve season upon season and then gaining that valuable experience for a set of young players.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I'm not really. I like attitudes in a team rather than skill level. Sometimes, that's my favorite about a team. Everybody that watches me knows that's my kind of my go-to thing about footballers. I love Dirk Kuyt for his work rate. I hated Lucas at the start for the position he was played in, and then I loved him when he went into the DM role. I just thought, played with heart, played for the club. I'm the same when it comes to Jordan Henderson in his attitude and and work ethic, and I'm all for that. But from what I've seen from Lavia so far, he plays in that manner where he plays unselfishly for the team. He's rapid, quick, and Jurgen Klopp loves him. And if Jurgen Klopp likes that attitude, I think for most fans that are not of the let's say the ultimate team FIFA brigade, that think that we can just hand money over, and no, we enjoy that for the fun of it. There's other people that think that that's real life, and if you're not of that ilk, then I would 100% have the likes of a Lavia in the team. I would have an Nunez on the team.
I'd say the market, Kev, is not what it used to be like 10 years ago. And the availability of players, mate. I don't know. Like the market we're currently shopping in for young, experienced DMs, the main good ones are going north of 70 to 100 million. And that's the going rate. But in terms of you're the club, mate, as you said, like say if Liverpool did whack £100 million on a midfielder, we had this debate in the summer, and where we're like, oh, we might go for Jude. But I think Jurgen took a back seat and went, actually, no, we'll
No.
go and get McAllister, we'll get Szoboszlai. Well, we need more than other midfielders as well. And that was sensible by the club. It's all right, us fans thinking about it, but I didn't once. I don't know how you feel, mate, or chat.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to. Like I said at the start, even before that, I could see what kind of player that Jude was going to be and what he's going to become and all of that. And I thought maybe he wouldn't, maybe he would ask Dortmund to lower the asking price or something to come to Liverpool because he'd prefer to go to a club like that rather than go to Real Madrid so soon. But at the end of the day, if anybody's been watching the shows, and I know most of you guys have heard me say this, I would rather buy 3 players than Jude Bellingham to fill in because I think we need it more than having a flair player in there. Because gone are the times where we have a mediocre team and then Steven Gerrard in the middle of the park saving us every week, and backed up every few seasons by the heart of Jamie Carragher and then maybe a Torres or a Suarez or a Dirk Kuyt to step in there and help him. So gone are those days for me, man. I need to see what's done best for the team. I think once you've got Henderson out the door and you've got Fabinho out the door and all that, that's huge wages gone. And if you're talking about the wages that probably Szoboszlai is coming in on, he's probably around 90k a week he'll make on top of that or something like that. Lavia will probably be the same. He'll probably double or triple his wages up to that. And then at Liverpool do the right thing by him. You perform, and then we'll bring your wages up to 120. We'll bring it up to 140, 180, and so on and so forth. So it's the right way to do things. And I think Lavia next to Trent Alexander-Arnold will be, and it will just open up the game for him. I think because he did look a bit all over the place. Yeah, he looked a bit all over the place, kind of wanting to do the kind of midfield game that he would play, but then he realized, I really have to sit here and tackle, and then he's thinking maybe this is not my kind of game. So bringing in a Lavia next to him that way would create that 3-box 3 that you want really in the middle of that park. And
it's about getting midfield.
Yeah,
I was going to say midfielders that complement each other, mate, as well. We've spoke on so many occasions over the last year, mate, haven't we? In terms of Reds, getting that complement. And I think if you get a proper DM that suits Trent's attacking sense, as Kev alluded to, Lavia's certainly got the attributes. He's got the pace. Because how many times last season did we see Liverpool in transition in those wide areas, especially down that right-hand side? If we've got Lavia and obviously Szoboszlai with his athleticism, he seems to be like a real runner in midfield. Obviously, McAllister's got a good engine on him as well. And obviously, if you complement that as well, Kev, with the likes of Curtis Jones, if needs be in the last 20, 30 minutes of a game, and then Harvey Elliott to come on in 20-minute spells, it's going to look really good. But I understand where we said at the top of the show when we were live. I understand where people are coming from in terms of moaning, but let's be honest, as we said, we can't have everyone, and the current market dictates that. You've got bloody Christ. You've got, I think Chelsea rejected this morning a bid in excess of £40 million for Conor Gallagher. Chelsea won 50 million for Conor Gallagher. He's not even worth 20 million on a good day. Like, that's the current market where they're currently buying in. Like, no way, shape, or form. Kev,
he scored a goal in pre-season. That's just, I mean, if that's the case, I don't understand. It's the same thing as saying that Colwell is a bad defender because he gave away a penalty in pre-season as well. It's the same thing. Oh, we can't get him. He gave away a penalty. Defenders do that, but and especially it's just pre-season. So I don't understand. Getting back to the type of fans that you see on Twitter doing it, the modern day folks, let's call them. Was it Gen Z? The majority of them. Apologies if you're in that bracket. Everyone and the crack. But you see, some of them they're getting a lot of influence over some of the older, crankier people as well. So, but
you're getting
find out.
I'll be getting cranky. Give it a couple more as well.
But people don't have any patience anymore. They have zero patience, and you go for this. Sounds like an old man speech, but you've gone from a society. If you told me 15 years ago, like I say, if I was in my early 20s, that I was sitting there holding a phone above myself and smiling, taking a photograph to myself, I'd probably have a fella walk over to me and punch me in the face. What are you doing? You idiot. You know, what are you doing, you big idiot? Who the hell do you think you are taking a photograph of yourself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I used to do I've done a couple of match day vlogs in my early years of YouTube.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I just sacked it off because
Yeah.
I looking back and I analysed what I was doing. I was like, no, just no.
Yeah.
Like fair enough for people doing vlogs in stadiums and that, but just enjoy it, man.
Sorry, Jack. While you're talking there, I apologize. Keep going there. Like, how rude is that? This is what the society is turning into these days, you know. And it's just like, and this sounds like an old man's speech, but you know, people taking photographs of themselves non-stop and all that. It's turned us into a mini ego race where we.
Oh, was that my connection or Kev's?
No, I'm going perfectly fine. You're okay as well. And
oh no, you just lost connection there. Yeah.
No, it was perfect on my screen. It was perfect.
Oh, sorry.
It was just it was probably just between us. But yeah, you just gotta people that just expect everything and complain more and do it, you know. And I'm just like, chillax. You know, Jurgen Klopp's in charge. You know, Schmatke's after coming in and turning the place upside down in 3 months. You know, getting rid of dead wood. Unbelievable. You have to give it to him. Yeah. You know, I could give props to him. Yeah. So yeah, I know you got people on Twitter all the time who's like, I want this, I want it, and I want it. No, you can't have it. How about that? We just can't have it. You can't have what you want. You can't have what you'll get what the club gives you, and that's it. Just get over yourselves. Yeah. You know?
And even if we have a good season or a bad season, we always get behind the Reds anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
And players.
I was frozen. No, I was frozen. On my end, I wasn't. But so I'm right, you're wrong.
There we go. It's so good, man. Big up there. Been saying most streams Lavia was only option and no time left as well. Well, I understand to agree with you there, Kevin. I think a lot of people will do as well. Get it done and move on for being on replacements. Big up there, Teddy. I think you're new round here, mate. Welcome to the channel. And anyone that is new round here, hit that subscribe button down below. Get involved with chat. Everyone's absolutely sound in the comments. And I think if a little silly sausage comes in, everyone sorts it anyway. Because we all know the regular names. Let's do Lavia's deal. Yeah, little sausage. Oh, might have a sausage.
Hungry now, Jack.
Oh yeah. It's all right. We're not a food channel. Sorry, everyone.
I could be though. I can cook pretty well, very well.
Yeah, like some mad stuff that you see on TikTok.
We should do food stuff, just food combinations every week. Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, there we go. It's time for Adrian Gomez and Matip and Anavic as well. That's an hour.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, big money moves, a lot of money. But I'll tell you what, Matip, he's a talented centre half. I know he's in bad form, but as I said, yeah, he is a bit broken. Lavia, Elise, and Nacho and Ford. Elise, Russell, you've heard me speak to you over the last 12 months, mate. I can't believe he's got a buyout of what, 35 million? Like, it's crazy. That is, it looks like he'll probably go to City or I think was it Chelsea. Kev, what's your thoughts on Elise?
I like him. I like Eze as well, and I think they did pretty well in that Crystal Palace midfield. I mean, we didn't even hear about what's his name, Zaha, for most of all of last season. It was them two boys.
He's gone to as
well. Yeah, so but like he kind of faded out of Crystal Palace in the last season or so, and it's been these lads that have been stepping up and doing the work inside there, you know, where it was always just like pass it to Zaha and then he'll save the day or something, you know. But he wasn't seen or heard of last season, to be honest with you. So yeah, look. If there's a bio clause in that dude, yeah, any team should be picking him up really, especially if he's a midfielder and you're short midfielders. I mean, we should have been in for a player like that easily, along with Lavia. 35 million at a steal, same. That's less money. That was it? No, that's more money than McAllister, was it? Like 34 point something million for McAllister or something like that. Yeah. So,
you can never have too many good players, though. That's saying for me, mate, rings true. Like you can never have too many good players. Like. And even if he was available, I think we'd all lose our heads if we brought in Elise over a DM. But yeah. I'd love a player like that, mate.
Yeah, you would. But then you're saying kind of like, all right, Bajcetic and Jones, you're still not part of our major plans, you know, that kind of way. You're just doing a good job at the moment. And I don't think any player wants to see that. So I don't think we're going to be bringing in anybody in that department anymore. Yeah. Anybody up front, I don't think so. I want to see a DM come in like Lavia, and I want to see probably a centre back that can also play DM, something similar to Fabinho that could do both. kind of coming in and playing that role. Anybody who's good and convert, like I've said, what's his name from Feyenoord? I'm after forgetting his name now. And I was the guy who was bigging him up the whole time. Hanko.
David Hanko.
What the hell?
David Hanko.
Yeah, David Hanko. Yeah, so the
Like,
Feyenoord fella. Yeah, so I would have to like say him and coming up. You get him at this deal, you know him. If we're getting Lavia, and then we're definitely not going for a Luis and the likes of that. So
yeah, it's weird.
let's put all our eggs in one basket though for Lavia, right? We need another one in there, I think.
What's happened? I'm just seeing Russell's comment here.
Yeah.
I want to be saying, imagine the scenes if Liverpool got Gvardiol.
Gvardiol, yeah, I was looking at that earlier.
Something massively has happened behind closed doors. I think RB Leipzig have been really peed off with Manchester City by supposedly it looked like rumours this week was he'd gone on a medical without RB Leipzig's permission, which is mental. And they come out with that statement. I think it was one of the high up people at RB Leipzig, basically saying because they sanctioned the deal for supposedly to Liverpool and obviously Christopher Nkunku going to Chelsea, they're not really in full desperate need of cash.
Yeah,
they're not like they used to be where they'd have to sell one like the Timo, Naby, one player every single season. Like they are comfortable this season, and they can definitely very similar situation with what's happened with. Saicedo at Brighton. Brighton have got him tied down, especially after all the business that happened last season. Got him to sign a new deal, and they're not in any rush to sell him. In all honesty, as much as Chelsea want him, if they don't pay the money that Brighton wants and require for him, he's going nowhere.
Exactly, and it's good to see from the clubs because I like the fact that the clubs are putting their foot down. Because for years, players will be let go left, right, and centre because they had so many clauses in their contract to get out of jail free. Like Liverpool, probably one of the first clubs to turn around and say, "We're not putting any more release clauses into our contract, so we'll decide what you go for, when you go, and what for." So you know, when you give the power back to the clubs, it just takes it garners a little bit more respect from the players. To be honest with you, you know. So like Gvardiol's a massive Liverpool fan as well, so I would take him any day in the team. So you know, be terrible to see like another big Liverpool fan like De Bruyne going to a team like City, and then you know, and then celebrating titles with 14 people. And somebody's Nunez says, "I remember back in my day when City were this," so because that's what you got now, just a lot, it's just that's what it seems like to me. And I would love to have Gvardiol, but Liverpool won't pay that kind of money unless Gvardiol asks the club. He needs to repair his relationship with RB Leipzig to be able to move forward to get a better move, I think.
Yeah.
How many years has he got left in his contract?
Things well. I'll chat Russell will know. Big old day, Russell. Or one of us, let us know anyway. Right, we'll get through all these comments as well, and then we'll go into obviously little bits of what yesterday. Anyway, everyone's been smashing it. Less than 3 weeks to get the players in. Already too late, ideally. You never know. Jorg is doing the business and behind closed doors. He's throwing everyone out the bloody transfer window door. He's like, right, yep, you're not getting a new contract. You're gone. And and Lavia won't be stupid wages. Yeah, it'll be on not too bad of wages, really. 50 grand for the normal person, all of us, is probably a lot of money. But for these modern day footballers, it's not too bad anyway. Spot on there. So, I have to be honest, I would have loved Jude. It's from Jen. I'm so glad that we are doing what we are doing instead, 100%, mate. City leaked the info and the rattles. Obviously, RB Leipzig. We should agree 2 players and better. We think we all agree 2 players are better than 1. 100%, mate. Just depends on what type of player you're getting. 100%. Smart business from Klopp this window. We didn't spend the whole budget on one player because we would have that wouldn't have helped. But getting the players in the smart way is very great. Plus, Lavia is homegrown as well. Have you had a little look there, Kev? How long has he got?
No, I haven't. So I'll have a look for the Gvardiol. No, sorry.
Yeah, no.
I'll have a look at a Gvardiol contract.
MD, we only make it one last sign, and when our first squad, when one of our first team players is injured, we will rely on our youngsters. Same story. Injuries ruin us because not enough signings. But it's injuries are part and parcel, MD, aren't they, mate? But I'd agree, we do need, I think we all do. We don't want to be put in a situation, and even if, as you said, MD, Liverpool get injuries, we don't want to be looking around the squad going, who's going to be playing? We need to know exactly, right, main choice 6 alongside Trent in that midfield. And then we need proper understudy. A fit Bajcetic would be a great start, but he's not first team ready at this moment in time. Potentially long term, he could be, but we need a first team at DM that can very much learn from it. Big up there, the 12th man. Big up Kev and Jack. Have a great show. Thank you, mate. We'll get it on very soon, matey. And keep on smashing it, mate. Really appreciate you jumping in. Big up there. Liverpool fans wanted legs. Now we have loads. Well, we want more legs as well. But it's those required legs as well. McAllister and
spider legs.
Yeah, spider legs.
Legs. 4 signings would be great.
I'd love a Mascherano. Mascherano had about 10 legs. The way in which he manoeuvred around the pitch, he was a nasty so-and-so. But he was ours. He was ours. I tell you what, if we had a Mascherano in his team, a prime Mascherano, we win everything next season. I'll tell you that now. Like, talented, man.
Yeah. Momo Sissoko before he got that injury as well was fantastic. Yeah, great player. So a lot of people got a lot of bad luck when it comes to that. So like for Gavardiol, so his contract runs out in 2027, 29th of June, 2027.
Yeah.
So there's another few players that are around the place. There's about 5 or 6 good players that are around the place that are homegrown and counting the same position as well, and probably wouldn't mind sitting on the Liverpool bench back and forth playing a few games. Like if you're talking DM wise, you're going to have to go an older level. Did what's his name go back to Real Madrid? Did he re-sign with Real Madrid? Oh my God, Nacho.
The defender.
Yeah.
I think he'd done a.
He re-signed with Real Madrid, so he was one that you could have brought in really on the free if they let him go and didn't trigger that clause. Benacer from AC Milan, but he's also an ex-Arsenal, I think. So he would have been counted as homegrown. He was in the youth at Arsenal, so he would have been another one. Whether he's good enough for that, I don't know.
The Algerian DM, he's quite good as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'll just rattle through all these as well. I was going to say, other player, who are you thinking? It's going to be, Kev, it's probably going to be a 6. That
Paulinho I would take all day long, but you're just not going to spend that much money on him, are you? So it's too old for we take players like him on a free. So
yeah, 100%, mate. Big up there, chat. Bloody is all bloody smashing it. But yeah, big up there. Get he in Dakota, Isaiah and Elisa just raid Palace. I tell you what,
I forgot about Yusuf, my dude, Yusuf Fofana. Monaco. Yeah. So
I'm surprised he's not gone to a bigger club, in all honesty, mate. Like, I'd be very surprised. And big up there, chat. Everyone smash the like button. Massively helps out, especially when YouTube doesn't send out the notifications. The absolute bloody legends. Morning, Henry. Well, it's afternoon now. It was when we started. Afternoon, Henry, as well. Afternoon, everyone. What's about the other Tim B? He can play right centre back, and centre mid. Obviously, is that his Timber's brother for Arsenal? New Dutch lad.
Yeah.
Interesting, Russell. It's going to be a name that we've not really heard of, chat. In all honesty, making sure I read through all of them. Russell said there, Benacer is a DM.
Oh, look, there you go. Russell says it. Yeah, same way.
Yeah, so you can be experienced. So you can be experienced at 24, 25. It's the thing, Brian. Like, you look at players, and Kev, you look at players around Europe, even at the age, especially the amount. You look at Pedri and you look at Gavi, the amount of, especially Pedri. I think for minutes played, I think he's probably going to break bloody records. He already has. Obviously, winning the Golden Boy Ballon d'Or was a couple of seasons ago. Anyway, you look at his minutes, you look at Jude's minutes, you look at Rashford's minutes when they broke through as youngsters. That accumulates to a lot of minutes, and that is massive experience. It's just going to be interesting to see where, in relation to, completely forgot his name, the Spanish lad we've got. Bajcetic, yeah. Sorry, that completely forgot.
Okay, I'm doing the same all day. Lack of oxygen in a room is just too bloody hot, and it's just humidly hot. So I keep doing this.
Yeah.
trying to hide a yawn.
How much experience do you reckon he'll get, like, in terms of this season? Like, as Chat already alluded to, like, it is experience. Bloody open the windows, bloody roasting.
This is who are we talking about? Because I heard about 4 names there.
The Spanish lad.
Oh, by Chetic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. So
no, just like more or less.
I think the Chetic can come in and do a really good job in the Europa League. I think we're going to need him and the Curtis Jones and all of these guys for this competition, big time. But like when you look at you're talking about experience, it all depends on how early they start in their career. I mean, look at Trent Alexander-Arnold is vastly experienced now, and he's only like 23, 24, is he? So at this stage, and he's been doing it like since he was 18 at the highest level with Liverpool. Yeah. So, it all depends on how early you start your career, which is why I'm kind of getting back to the Ben Doak statement earlier. If he gets his extra little bits right, he could start his career now with Liverpool and then be vastly experienced by the time he hits 21, 22, after playing in almost everything. So it all comes down to how you apply yourself. You might be really good at some things in your game, which every young player finds out, but until you learn how to do the simple things right, then that's what's holding you back. I think as I said, that was Curtis Jones' biggest problem. When he started off extremely, extremely gifted, but didn't know when to release the ball soon enough. He wanted to always do that extra 2 or 3 turns before releasing the ball. It should have gone to the guy that's now at the corner flag, jogging back going, where's the ball? So it's just all about releasing the ball at the right time.
100%. 100%. Zaha now gone, don't rate Palace. Roy keeps on surprising. You think Roy's finished? No. Rises like Palpatine in episode 9. And don't get me started in episode 9. Apologies if I just spoiled it, but you don't really want to watch the new Star Wars. It's flesh. But yeah, Roy is the basically Palpatine in the Premier League. Fair play to him, because he's still doing a job. Like, he didn't do a good job at Liverpool, as we know, but he's just goes to show the experience that fella has had in football, that he's still going. How old? I think we spoke about this last week.
Who's that?
Roy. How old do you reckon?
Oh, right. Right, 73, 74, right?
That's really old, No, 75, yeah.
75. 74, 75. No, it's you don't know right, man. He's just what was his name? Warnock is another one of those that stuck around that long as well, isn't it? Oh, there's Neil Warnock.
I love Warnock.
He's gas.
Only because
do you know who I miss? The dude that was the Blackpool manager. The fellows who Ian Holloway.
Yeah.
I get so different down there, but if I tell you need me. Oh man, my attempt at a Cornish accent or whatever the hell he was.
He just said whatever come into his head, and that's like very rare as a modern day football manager.
But you need that, Yeah. Do you know, Harry Redknapp is another one of those. You just miss these kind of managers. The ones that bore the tits off me are, the ones that they sit there and just kind of go, it's very efficient day. And like Brendan Rodgers became kind of like that for me. Oh, we got a bit of wee bow there, and that's it. And everything was just then, professionalism. And
the worst one, Kev, was the Southampton manager that they had. Not Ralph, but the fella that the ex-Luton manager chat. I've forgotten his name, but Nathan Jones. That was it. Nathan Jones. Oh, mate,
he didn't hold his punches. Yeah.
Like, whoa. How he got into the Premier League, I don't even know. But enough about those managers anyway. Andrew Lewis will be exceptional. Andrew Lewis. Andre, is it the Benfica lad you're speaking about on Redbirds? I was going to say.
It's Robert. Is it?
Agreed. It's tough life for us football romantics, love. Big up there, mate. Yeah, the ups to downs, what we get behind them as well. What happens to the Brazilian DM that everyone's talking about from Flamense? He's 21 and he is class. Russell, you probably watch a lot more Brazilian football than me, mate. But there's definitely, I think I don't know if you've seen it the last couple of weeks. There's supposedly going to be the Premier League's meant to be easing the restrictions on South Americans or in terms of work permits. I think clubs, I don't know if currently as it stands, chat, you probably know a lot more than me, but very much the willingness to allow players from overseas to come to the Premier League is going to be a lot more easy. I think that there's going to be a 2 team minimum requirement now. So like if there's 2 players that or transfers that you've struggled to get, I think Alan Rodriguez years ago when we signed him
Poor
from
fella.
Brazil, like we literally loaned him out about 7 times, and he'd only just recently been able to get a work permit. But I think he's playing for Fluminense now or something.
Yeah. I mean, and he was a gifted player, so he would have been a star here if he was given the chance.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, red tape and all of that stops you. I like, he's playing football. You know, he's not being a doctor or, you know, or joining the military or becoming a politician or something like that in the country. I get it. It's his job, and footballers get paid as well as everybody else's. But when you're playing football, just let the lad play football. Give him a pass that said you can only play football, and, you know, give him a higher tax rate or something if he's got issues back home or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's something that's to be looked into, that, but getting these work permits just for certain footballers, really. I mean, it's a sport. Yeah. At the end of the day, you understand if he's something that he was working with. The
thing is, when you go into
like
England,
yeah.
But even still, though, Kev, like football's so important. So like football. Everyone in the UK, I don't know. Do you think it would be different, or it's basically everyone in the UK watches, like the whole world watches football, but I'd say football, apart from like the likes of people that watch Emmerdale and Coddy and the people that enjoy that, and they can't.
Love Island.
Oh, don't get me started on Love Island.
Did it do my nail?
So rubbish. Oh my god.
Ah, it's just. I'm watching brain cells just dissipating as I even watch a clip of that show.
Sorry, chat if you do watch it, but I'll be disappointed if you do.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Jesus said he wants to go. Where have you seen that, Russell? I'll have a little Google on that before we finish off. We'll have, no defence, just attacking vibes, just have about 7 attackers on the pitch. Wonder why Henderson and Fabio still not confirmed. And as Kev, we've all spoken about.
Be very careful with them over there, because they're very sneaky. They'll hold back payments, they'll do whatever. Yeah. You know, Liverpool won't let them be released until that money is in their bank account, and then they'll say, we'll sign the documents then. Yeah,
we want all that money up front. And the thing is, Kev, Liverpool and Chas, we don't want to be releasing players if we haven't got the replacements in. Mm-hmm. Like, that is a car crash waiting to happen, in all honesty, mate, for me.
Yeah, so I think once Lavia is announced or something like that, you'll see Fabinho and Henderson going, and then we'll be looking for some sort of comfortable in a way, a DM centre back conversion type player that can play in these roles if he needs to be. Another Fabinho really in that role, but somebody probably a bit quicker would be handier to get across the park. Lavia is very quick as well, but we need somebody that can run back, which is why I said David Hanko would have been perfect for us on the left hand side of that centre back Bjorn, or, you know, to cover the midfield.
Yeah, keep off the side of guys. There we go. Both saying. Kev's just turned into a farmer, and Lavia for 35 million. We will very much take that. I think my mouse has ran out there, so apologies there, chat. Hang on. Yeah, I'm going to have to charge me. Bloody mouse. How unprofessional of me. I need to find it, bloody. I can't even end the stream, chat. Oh, no. Right, Kev, hang on. No, you can click it.
I can click it, yeah. There we go. Come on, I can click through it. There we go. Bird, Brady be mugged off the toffees for the first time on and off the pitch. I'm not in that conversation. Jealousy, I hope so. I think when they're being Levy. Okay, so we're looking at. I have to go or something where we're asking questions, because otherwise we're getting into conversations that we're not involved in. Cap Council, big up. That's good. That's a good shout out right there. Big up, Connor. Keep off. Yeah. What's this? What's this about cider? I had enough drinking in Munich, but now I'm off it for a few months. Because I'm getting rid of the old belly. I noticed in pictures in Munich when I was over there was a small bit of rotundness that was appearing back there for a while. So I just kind of goes, back to the weight gym for me. Because normally I could do it for like 2 or 3 years straight, and then I'd stop for a year and a half, give my body a break, and then I do the too long.
And chat and Kev, you can all treat yourself. Especially treat yourself.
I did it for too long.
Yeah,
that's my problem.
Is a comment there, Kev? Is it Pavine? Hopefully I've said that right, mate.
Pavine down.
Good to see you, mate.
Praveen. Hey guys, Liverpool fan here from India. Keep up the good work. Hey Praveen, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. Yeah. Welcome. Say hello to everybody. They'll get used to it if you pop in there weekly. You know, they'll like you. And then if they start taking the piss out of you, you're accepted.
That's when you know you're best mates with them as well.
Yeah.
Everyone's good, chat. But Kev, we'll go into obviously. I'll bring up then comments in a little second as well, mate. But chat a little about yesterday's game. We'll speak about Matip and Gomez at the end of the show, really. But we spoke about obviously Ben Doak, haven't we? Darwin Nunez going into this season. He's got 100% shot accuracy, but it's pre-season, of course. But for you, Kevin Chas, do you think it looks like he's improving? And we all said this, and everyone said he always improved in the second season at the club in which he's been at. When he was in Spain, when he was at Portugal as well, and now comes Liverpool. Do you think he's laid in more in the last couple of weeks?
I think so. I mean, we already knew that he was a nuisance, and we already knew that if he got the supply, he'd put it away. Now, a couple of times, because when you're coming into a team like Liverpool and you're a gifted striker, but you've got you have a team that's behind you having a stop-start season all the time, that you don't expect the ball to come to you sometimes, that sometimes it's a shock. I think that's the situation that Darren was in a lot of last season, that he found that he was making runs and he wasn't getting the ball, and then when he did make the run, and then he said, oh, wait, ball is actually getting to me, and then he has to kind of tell his body to react. I think he had a lot of those fluff moments last season because of that, and because of, just the inconsistency behind him. But when you look at him at Benfica, 14 goals in his first season, 39 goals in his second season, 15 goals for us in his first season. I'm expecting 40 next season, lads, or this season coming. So,
Gary, if you're in the chat, mate, or if you're lurking, Gary wants 50, 60, don't we? We all do. Yeah. Big up Gary as well.
Yeah, but Gary always wants 8-0. So, it's
he was close
just kind of. Yeah.
Nearly got there in the air. Remember when we were doing a watch along for the Bournemouth game? We were like, Gary, you got it right.
Yeah, and United, he said 8-0 for United as well, and he was almost there. So,
but chat, what's your thoughts on Darwin Nunez? As Kev's alluded to, such excitement, and we spoke about obviously the quality in terms of Jota's got. The more options Liverpool have got going to this new season, the better. And even if a situation does arise, Kev, Liverpool, we're not defending. The most important thing is if Liverpool start scoring goals. And when we become a nuisance, because what is it? A team goes 2-0 against Liverpool, but Liverpool have got that firepower going to next season where we're not concerned, we're not afraid. Even when we won the league title a couple of years ago, it was always a case in point of, Liverpool have gone behind, but we'll come back again and we'll score again and we'll win the game. And it was that almost momentum carried us over the line. And that's probably the main thing I'm hoping for, Kevin and Reds, is going to this year. If we do go behind, I want that mentality back where we've got that fight, we've got that desire, and we've got, first and foremost, that quality to start winning games, Kev. Because every week one go by, it gathers momentum. There's no powerful force in football than momentum and confidence, really, mate, for me.
I would take a season again like 2019. I know we lost in the final of the Champions League, but I would take a season like that where if we are coming into it and we haven't put all our eggs in one basket, where we're still waiting on a player that we might have to wait 6 months for or something like that, but it's the right player for Klopp and the Cop. So if it's the right player, then I would take us outscoring everybody else with thriller games, your 4-3s and your whatever like that. I obviously like a solidified defense, but I want to see a more exciting season from Liverpool this season. They gave us some flair of what to expect last season. I mean, apparently United were back last season. They got thrown 7-0. They were very lucky to win the first game around, the 2-1, and I can't see them improving at all.
For me, Kev and Chat, they are still. The fans can pick it up every single season, but they are still 20-30 points behind Man City and Liverpool. If Liverpool back up to what we can do, they're still a million miles away from me, mate.
I think, as I said, false positions last season. Spurs were in a false position. United were in a false position for me out of all the teams that were up there on the top last season. I think we started off poorly for our standards, but I think that we could show in the second half of the season how much we can drive on when we need to drive on. And I think that only City and us are capable of doing like 16 wins in a row, 15, 16 wins in a row. Even, let's say over a 19 game period, maybe 4 draws and the rest all wins, that kind of thing, So we're the only two teams that are really capable of doing that. And we showed that last season. even though we were still at 65% of where we're at.
Yeah.
We just showed that once other teams start slowing down, that's it. I think if you're coming up to this season, the only way that United will do well this season is down to Newcastle and Arsenal and Chelsea. Not down to us, because I still think we're capable of going up there and doing what we do. I think that with these with Newcastle and Arsenal
And
in the
Villa,
Champions
I
League,
think we've got to put that.
yeah, and Villa will come up anyway. But I think that with Newcastle and Arsenal playing the Champions League for the first time in quite a while, and even though Arsenal have improved their team and stuff like that, it's still all of these competitions at once that they're not used to playing this type of this level. Newcastle will definitely start feeling the struggle, I think. And it's because of that United could sneak in, or maybe an Aston Villa could sneak in. And I think if Chelsea improve, then I don't think they'll turn around a 40-point deficit. But if they can improve at least by 27, 30 points from where they were, then they'll have a say in what happens in that top six as well, I should say. And yeah, look, I just don't. I've said it. United were in a fall season last season. This is not the biased Liverpool fan of me. This is looking at the team and looking what they haven't or have improved. Onana is he's had more contributions to goals, disaster-wise, than
when
he has done in 5 years.
When we played him, it was a couple of seasons ago. Mate, he was absolute shambles. There was that clip of it. Was it last week? Like the ball over the top, and he completely goes it. And one thing that even De Gea struggled with at the beginning, but he eventually got used to it. I remember when De Gea comes to the Prem and when he won the league anyway, under Sir Alex, the last title he won, like the teams were like getting like about 50 players on him, but he eventually learned that in terms of coming out for the ball, because he was quite a skinny goalkeeper as well when he comes. But I think he's in a struggle, and especially when the Premier League is not like what it is in the Serie A, mate. Is it? Like we've all spoke about the pace. It's such a lesser pace. I know everyone goes, "Oh, Napoli, Inter, and AC Milan done well in the Champions League." Yeah, because they didn't play Liverpool. Like Liverpool, if we won that group stage last season, we would have been in the final against Manchester City. There was no chance. And like the fact that we would have evaded Real Madrid, but we got knocked out. Fair play. But like Liverpool would have had a free run, and all those Italian teams wouldn't have stood a chance. I know we got battered by Napoli, but Liverpool sorted.
That was at our poorest point. Yeah, that was at our poorest point in the season. Over that 3-week period, we were, we went from beating Bournemouth 9-0 to just capitulating over 3 weeks with just exhaustion really within the team. So I don't look too much into that. What I do look into is the fact that I want to see the work done. I want to see the closing done. I want to see the counter pressing done in pre-season. And that's what I'm seeing at the moment. I'm seeing the counter pressing back. I'm seeing 3 lads tracking down every player. I'm seeing teams struggling to what to do. I mean, that first team left us, we were gone a few goals up because of the first team, and that Salah and Darwin Nunez turned up at the start of the second half. And, you can count that momentum as carrying on, but it's just only when our second or third, let's call it third string defense, was put under pressure. And then to stick Kwanzaa in there as well next to Joel Matip, who's not on the biggest form either, and I don't know what Tsimikas was doing.
Oh, anyway, we'll get to that, Kev. Because my mouse is getting lobbed in the bin. It is dead. Can you
plug it in?
I've tried charging it, and it's going to end up in bacon that mouse anyway.
It's Apple, lads. Don't buy Apple. Once it goes, it goes. All right.
Just go through, obviously, from where you started there. Just stifle through those comments.
It's held up because of I heard about that, Russell. Yeah, Fabinho's held up because they won't let the dogs in the country. Fabinho could stress, Fabinho big up. Can't see Fabinho. Okay. Can't see Fabinho giving up his dog. So what do you think he will do? Stay? I think it'll be okay. They just have to put him into quarantine, really, don't they? Is that the issue?
No, there be sounds.
Yeah, I think so. So Steve, LFC, this is Anfield. How's it going, bud? Big up Spider and Jack. How's it going, lad? So he says Jota should have remained on left wing and sub off Diaz. What from yesterday? I thought.
I thought we were playing. Like,
could have been. But I know for me, Diaz was the best player on the pitch yesterday.
Tremendous.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Lucho was needed. But that's why we'll get to obviously Costas, Matip and Gomez, mate. But yeah, Lucho Diaz. I think a lot of us did have Kev, didn't we? When we spoke about it, Lucho being the predominant left winger.
Yeah.
But obviously after that first game, I was like, oh, hang on, Jota. He's Jota's Jota, the Jota that we love. And but yeah, it's great options that we've got. In all honesty, when we've got all them fully fired, it'll be good. Good.
Yeah. So let's smash those likes. Thanks very much, Wolf. Appreciate that. Doak is great for future.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think so. I mean, as I said, if he gets rid of that the head down syndrome, we're going to call it that. I'm not going to label it on other players anymore because I mean Curtis Jones has improved very well and Milan Barras is long gone. So I could probably use Milan Barras. So we get rid of the Milan Barras syndrome because Curtis has gotten rid of it recently, where he has to release the ball a bit sooner than what he likes. Because there was an instance yesterday in the game where he was running up the wing and it could have been lovely enough, but he ended up taking a shot. There was two guys inside him for just tap-ins and he didn't spot him because his head was down and he was looking towards the goal with the glances. So he wasn't watching where the strikers were and the wingers. So he needs to get his head up, and once he gets back into his game, he'll be playing a lot earlier in the first team. I guarantee you that. So Antico says, basically analysing a training session, probably trained before.
Yeah.
So there we go. So Steve LFC says, we need more coverage for defence. Gomez is not the same. We need Florentino Luis or Douglas Luis. So we were saying about Florentino Luis, I take him or a David Hanko or somebody like that. Do you want to get onto the defence? Because I really want to take them apart, to be honest with you.
Just highlights obviously a couple of them and just bring them up and just go through.
Nunez.
Get to Steve's comments.
Give him proper selection headache, Andrew says, Nunez, Salah, and everyone tweeted yesterday saying, finally, we've got the Benfica Nunez back to his best. He was fantastic. So he was megging fellas and all scoring goals. So, I mean, I'll take him all day. Thank you. Wolf says, it's the language he struggles. Nunez should be improving this season. Yeah, I mean, he's already been coming in for pre-season, taking the mickey out of people in English, hasn't he? Yeah. So, I mean, that's a good improvement. Henry, I got to go big up, guys. Remember, not walking on, remember, trust Klopp. He's got his head screwed on. Tight FSG, get the beep, beep, out of our club. But leave sexy Linda behind us. She's a good. I got to do a football once. Remember? Anyway, thanks, Henry.
Big up, Henry.
Yeah, big up, Henry. Nunez was under massive pressure last year to impress. First time in the Prem, and Liverpool must be scary. He looks relaxed right now. The real deal, I believe. Yeah, he is. Yeah, I mean, he's a goal scorer. You'll see him. I mean, some of the goals he scored even against United last season with those headers are difficult goals to score. And you can see that the quality is there, you know. He just didn't have his shooting boots on for a couple of games because he didn't expect the ball to get through because we were so poor. At the match last season, you could see frustration when he was making runs in behind and we passed back. Exactly, and that's exactly what I was saying, dude. So when we were passing back and the ball wasn't going to him, he was making the runs. And then when he was getting the ball when he wasn't expecting it, he was still trying to make half-assed runs. But once you make those first 4 or 5 runs and you don't get the ball, you make half-assed runs. And then when you get it, you're like, oh, I wasn't ready for this. And, you know, that's where midfielders can really hinder strikers. Panav.
And into that one as well, Kev, as Anne said there, like, that's why I think there's still levels for Haaland to reach as well. Like, in all honesty, like, you notice the first couple of weeks, even the Community Shield, when we played them, City were like, and Pep said on record, like, they're still getting used to Haaland. And it's like, oh my God. Like, when he fully is integrated into that squad, Haaland's easy getting 50 goals in the Prem. I tell you that now.
I think, you know, only for him last season, at the start of the season, they were playing absolute long balls and it actually killed City's football, that type of football. You know, hindered a lot of players of the team, but only for Haaland scoring the goals. Like, if he wasn't there and there was another striker playing in that kind of similar role, like if Darwin Nunez joined City last season at that thing, at the form that he was in, so he probably would have seen a lot more goals with the balls over the top, but, you know, would have killed City's game and he would have been knackered by the end of it. But it all depends, you know. You push what was their old striker? You put a Dzeko type player in there, and they're not getting anywhere near the top 4, you know, with the way they were playing at the start of last season. So, and that's just the difference to me. It's clinical goal scorers. You put somebody like a Haaland or a Nunez in there that will trap and score a ball if they get it when they're making the runs, and, you know, you're laughing. Oh wow.
Is that being confirmed, Russ? Would that be mad? I don't know. But he deserves a big payday, especially the great work in which Sadio and obviously Mo and modern footballers do, Kev. Like, we've seen the stories of what Mane does for his community where he grew up. He builds hospitals, and a lot of players do that now. But it's going to be amazing. So it will be life changing for his community as well, where he lives and where he used to live. So, and even looking at Lucho Diaz as well, like that money, like especially if you are a big figurehead in your community in terms of wherever, especially if they come from like quite a poor background as well. It's going to be very special. And go for it, Sardo. He's getting paid big bucks. He deserves it. He deserves to be at a club that really appreciates him. The injury last season, not saying that Bayern didn't, but it just didn't work out. Like, he was not even getting used properly in that squad. And for all Sardio's not bad performance, but all the Bayern results that were quite poor were all getting blamed on Mane, and it just wasn't. It was bigger than
Scapegoat. It's kind of it reminds you of Gareth Bale at Real Madrid, really, doesn't it? He's getting blamed for stuff that he wasn't even involved in. So yeah, I don't know, fickle fans, I suppose. So Szoboszlai and McAllister will help Nunez massively playing through balls. I said that when we were talking about this last season. I said you get service to Nunez, and I said he's scoring goals. Zero service, pretty much, unless it was Trent or Salah giving it to Nunez last season. It was very hard. I think the odd time Gakpo gave it to him.
I'd say, Kev, the key to unlock this defense being used.
I think I think he can go pound for pound with Haaland for most of the season. I think next season for goal wise, if you give him the service, I think he's there or thereabouts. But Haaland is obviously an absolute monster and a beast. But that's not saying that Darwin Nunez can't be the same if he gets the right amount of service. So it's all about the service that he receives next season, not about what he can do on the ball, because some of his lacking last season was, as I said, not receiving the ball those 4 or 5 times after making the runs. Then when his head is a bit muddled, he's like, am I going to get it this time? Am I not? And then making the runs, and then he's like fluffed it a bit, and he's like, more added pressure. I'm only going to get this one chance. And he was playing like a lower league side, where you get this one chance, and they have to really have to put it away, or what, and it can cause even more pressure on the striker. So yeah, absolutely.
We'll get straight into obviously the calamitous defending, really, mate. Well, obviously you just want to read those last couple of comments quickly, Kev, and then we'll go.
Yeah. Well, that's going back to the point where I was saying that I think Liverpool are the only ones that can really, put that worry City when it comes to anything spot on. Ask any City fans who are worried about us, and it's us at our best. Nobody else really does what we do in there, week in, week out, because we're used to it now under Klopp, and we're used to it even, a little bit under Brendan Rodgers and all of that. But, Kings of Europe and all that, lads. That's the way it is. And yeah, I know he's crap, but we wanted, he was Basuma a couple of seasons ago. He was a beast at Brighton. It's all gone wrong at Spurs. He's only 26. Maybe under a better manager, yeah. But it's Spurs, isn't it? I mean, if you're a top quality player, you don't go to Spurs.
That for me with Basuma is the attitude, really, in terms of when you speak about what he was doing on the pitch. He's just one of those. He's just going to be remembered as one of those players that has just tarnished his career. He should have stayed at the club where he was at for a couple of more years, mates. But it's going to be interesting. But Kev, we'll go into obviously the defence. What did you mainly want to speak about? I said it on my little short yesterday after the game. I think, and even on my TikTok, I got quite a lot of responses as well, and even on Facebook, that Liverpool are only 1 or 2 injuries away from being a defensive crisis, and it will be. And we'll be back to the very much square one where we find ourselves a couple of seasons ago. It's being pessimistic, but it's being realistic as well, in all honesty. Liverpool need to do a lot more defensively in terms of transfer market view?
Oh, you do. If I had my honest truth, right now I'd be turned around and I'd be handing RB Leipzig all of the money that's left in the kitty for Gavardiol. And I'd be get a player like that in right now as another marquee signing, similar to Van Dijk a few seasons ago. Or at least cover the positions well, So if you're not going to do that, and I know he's worth about 75 million euro, but at the moment they're touting like 89 million pounds, which is I don't know where they're getting that from in the German league. But and I don't know what's after happening with his breakdown, but he's a massive Liverpool fan. I'd be going for that. But for me, Matip is cooked a bit. He's a bit broken for me at the moment. I think Joe Gomez had a good game playing up the right hand side, and then changing with Salah, making under runs and overlapping runs. And I think he did well, in fairness to him, on that right hand side. But I just think that he felt like he always had to come back and cover Matip and Kwanzaa, and I think sometimes Joe's put into the wrong team when it comes to these pre-seasons, because it just highlights him as having to do a lot of covering or a lot of work that he shouldn't have to do.
Yeah.
So you put him alongside, in that first team in the first half, and I think you're praising Joe Gomez instead of saying, oh, he's had to do a bit too much with the second half team. So, but I think Matip was a bit cooked for me. People were bypassing it, kind of like Fabinho last season. People were just running past him, and it was too easy.
I'll back Matip though, mate. I still think there's a very good centre half in there.
He is.
I think he's just been massively let down with players around him, though, mate. In all honesty, like, if you can keep a fully fit Matip, like, you're looking at what, 40-50 million pounds centre half in today's market. Like, I know everyone goes over the injuries, but if you can keep Matip fit, for me, he's still a hugely massive asset for the football club. And if we were to get rid of Gomez and Matip, you're looking at spending 120 million. Like, the fact that we got him, was saying to Connie yesterday on his show, like, we were very fortunate to get him on a free. We knew what we were getting with Matip in terms of when he come from Schalke, but I still think fully fit Joel Matip is Liverpool's second best centre half by a bloody country mile. Ahead of
very gifted. Yeah, I do as well, and I agree with you there, Jack. I do. It's just that with the amount of injuries that are cropping up and the ease at which people are gliding past them now, I find that if we're going to cash in, either cash in now or tell him that he's going to be fourth choice, and just bring in somebody else. It's just
we probably will lose him on a free next summer. His contract will run out. Him and Thiago are very much so, mate. But I do understand where you're coming from with Matip, mate.
I love him. I think he was our best in the almost squad season. He was our best defender by a country mile. And he has been for a few years. Very solid, very good in the year clearing as well. It's just that lately he's just been losing that, because he used to be able to, like, remember Matip when he'd gallop back and get in front of players as well. He's just lost that this season. It's a lot of kind of like, kind that way, and then the head kind of dropping as he's running back. When you see that in a player, you're just like, no, he's not feeling it yet. Hopefully he can feel it getting into the season, but he's just not. When you see the body language, it's just not there for me yet. So I'm worried about that position, which is why I want to see somebody come in for that position.
Yeah. Don't know, were you typing in something there in terms of?
I was looking at free agents that are available that could possibly come in and do a Matip job at the moment. So
we've had for months, even before Ndicka did move to Roman anyway. As well there, Track. Keep on getting your comments in. Let us know your thoughts. Everyone, we're more bothered about what you think anyway. It is a massive predicament that Liverpool will be in for the next, I'd say 12 months to 24 months, really. I think it's understandable, the emphasis, really, in terms of the focus from the football club to be analysing the quality in the midfield. We need a 6, a top-class 6, and even probably another 6 as well. But it's going to be a massive... I think the big defensive rebuild will sadly come next season, but I'm just hoping that it doesn't catch up with us this season. And as I said, Virgil is to get injured, Kev, or Chat as well. And if Canate gets injured again, then you are heavily reliant on Joe Gomez. If Joe Gomez was playing sound, he alleviates quite a lot of those issues, Kev. He's at the right age, he's homegrown,
he's quick,
but you just can't really trust. I've run out of patience really with him.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do. I think he's better off at the right hand side of a defence. If Liverpool are going to use him, and alongside Canate as central, are you going to really put Van Dijk more to the left of a defensive unit? He likes playing on the left of a centre back position, but would you put him there as the outside defensive back to accommodate Joe Gomez coming in on the right with Canate in the middle? I don't know. I couldn't see that. I'd see more Canate on the right verge through the centre, and maybe a left-sided centre-back coming in if you're going to do it that way. I think out of all the positions, I did say Kvaratskhelia would relieve that, but I mean, I don't know what's going on with him in City. People that you're looking at on free transfers that are out there at the moment, Yerry Mina from Everton, which would be a strange one to come in because he's only 28.
No, we're not touching him with a temple
bad. I know. No. Because he was like highly rated with Colombia, wasn't he, before he came in, and everything kind of ruined him then again.
Too busy partying. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's the issue, really, isn't it? Daily Blind. All I'm bringing up is like old enemy players. But
I think he's gone somewhere. I think
is he gone somewhere? Is he? So
yeah,
he says he's free transfer here, and that. What are we looking at? Jerome Boateng, he's probably too old now at this stage. I can come in and do it. Nah, just there's not really much available. It's positions are pretty much all done and done. It's really hard.
The market's rubbish.
The markets, yeah.
Like you look at Van Dijk, probably the best centre half in Europe by a bloody punching mile. But like the pecking order, obviously got top of my priority list, as I've said for months, is Bastoni. I think we get to play a centre half like that into the football club would cost a pretty penny as well from Inter. But yeah, let's rattle through a couple of those. Obviously, a couple of those comments, please.
Comments, yeah,
and then we'll conclude.
Yeah, our farm is atrocious. Yeah, Bunkers, LFC. He's crap. No, Russell said about his Basuma. Curtis Jones breakout season incoming. Hopefully, seeing that, but that'll be at the cost of buying in McAllister. But I suppose at 34.5 million, McAllister will be a great cover player if Curtis Jones makes it. You know what I mean? So that's it's like the literally be great buy for defense. Yeah, would be. But he's at Bayern right now, isn't he?
Yeah, he went from Juventus to
Bayern. Yeah, what am I saying? Because I was looking at his jersey and the thing right in front of my face the other day. So yeah, he's there. No, they were still talking. The guys were giving me kind of when they were chatting away, saying that Pavard kind of wants out of there at the moment. So I don't know what the situation with that is. Gravenberch is wanting to see more game time, or he wants out of there. Is what these guys are saying. If they don't promise him game time, he's going to look at whatever options come in. And it's when you look around the Bayern dressing room, there's a lot of players that we've been linked with this season just inside that dressing room. I was kind of walking along with my thing going, oh yeah, we're linked with him, we're linked with him. You know, so yeah, I don't know. Hellier, how's it going, man? Hyler. What am I saying? Hellier. I saying what you say. You call him Hellier, and I know it's Haler. It's Matthias. And afternoon, what's cooking? What's he going to do?
Jorg is cooking, lad. That's what he's doing.
He is. You can see his frustration. Amount of times, all he needed was a true ball, and that's to do with Darwin Nunez. Yeah, I think me and Ant are on the same page there when it comes to that. The defense was shockingly bad. Second half of the defense was shockingly bad yesterday, if that's what we're alluding to. First half was very good, very controlled, did all the right things. I think Kanata lost his head about once, but he gave a bad pass, and that was about it. So the City losing some top players levels up more. Yeah, I mean, but they did replace him with a few top players as well. I mean, I think Alvarez will be more influential this season. When I thought they were getting Gavardi all in, I mean, if they don't get them in, their defense issues are going to be big. And could you see City even stepping in for a Colwell or somebody like that? You know, if a Gavardi isn't available. So you might see that happening. We had a defense yesterday. Yeah, for the first half, no goals conceded. Second half, though, they were awful. Kanata will be injured at some point, so Gomez and Mata for a huge drop off and cost us so many goals and points. I agree there. I do agree. I think that if we get Van Dijk back to a certain standard and level, I think everybody becomes a good centre back next to him.
Yeah.
If you don't have Van Dijk at a certain level and he has to depend on these other guys, then they can tend to let him down with a bit too much pressure.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, Russell's mentioned Sergio Ramos. I don't be anywhere near him as well. Sorry there, lad. Have you seen Sergio Ramos in the comments? No.
I would not.
Imagine him and Salah scrapping at half time.
Yeah, Salah will walk out of the club if he comes in, I'll be honest with you. As you could say, oh, you let it go. But that was tactical what Sergio Ramos did, and he had no qualms about it. You can't sit there and respect somebody in the dressing room for popping your shoulder out of place to get you out of a game. That's not going to happen in any team. Yeah. I think it happened a thing where Mane and Sané had an issue because of Man City back in the day when he got the red card or something like that, and Sané was right in his face, and that was brought back up, and they started fighting again inside in Bayern Munich, and that's where kind of Sadio Mane is now. So these things don't get let go when it comes to serious kind of issues. Matip Gomez looked like Lauren Hardy. They were terrible.
Yeah.
They were. I have to say they were terrible. Poor Kwanzaa, who I feel sorry for in there. You know, so I haven't
as well though, mate. Like we haven't mentioned him. Like he was there. As I said on my post match, like in the live stream, and I was watching your video when I finished, mate. You were mentioning he probably, and I'm saying to Connor on his post match, he at the current moment in time is probably the one Liverpool player that is probably going to be one of the next names out of the door in terms of long term. Because I don't think he's got the defensive qualities in terms of playing centre back. Obviously, Robbo's still learning that role on the left side of the defence, but yeah, Costas, I can't foresee him long term being at Liverpool, in all honesty, because he was an absolute mess. And you'd think when he was coming in, he's played well in his career, when he winning the FA Cup, winning the League Cup, helping us win that. But I still think yesterday showed to me a side that I didn't really like in terms of him getting too reactionary in the game. He was more.
He could have been sent off. He could have been sent off in that point there with that tackle. But I think your question, the answer to that question there is look at how Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley handles his first name Conor, because I remember we had another Bradley that went to Bournemouth. I'm just making sure I didn't get the two names mixed up. But that young lad Bradley, how much he showed himself in comparison to Simicast yesterday, and he was fantastic. He was fantastic. I mean, he's the only thing that, as I said, with some of these young players, there's always one big element missing out of their game that they just need to improve on, and then that'll make him take him to that next level. And for me, for Conor Bradley, it's his final pass. And once you get to that once he gets that final pass into his game, he was very good defensively yesterday. So these guys are almost ready for the step up. They just need these extra little bits added to their game, and a little bit more bulking up and stuff like that. But that just comes naturally over his. I mean, look at Trent Alexander-Arnold, skinny little runt, and how he's built. It's just this happens over time. So this is why they're told to keep on doing what they're doing and improve their game. And it goes to show you that they're like, oh, how much more can I improve? I'm really good at this, I'm really good at that, but I'm not good at that. So
I think
get that into your game.
The chest is well, Kev, he'll fill out. Obviously, he's still growing, he's still a young lad. So obviously, he's not growing until 21. Some people are different as well, though. But I think he'll fill out. Even Harvey as well, mate. So I think if he could potentially become the new Shaqiri.
He was saying it yesterday. He looks fairly big. Did he rip open his socks or something yesterday? And
I didn't see that.
He had holes in the back of his socks so that he could release his calves.
Oh,
I don't know if you see like
calves.
He's in
the gym. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but the only problem I ever see with people that have calves and muscles like that is that they tend to pick up a lot of strain issues. So you look at Shaqiri. You look at Jack Grealish when he was at Aston Villa for a long while, always out with calf issues. Shaqiri always out with calf issues. And I'm like, well, then stop making them look like cows. It's just, it's ridiculous. Like they're just huge. So, so yeah.
I was going to say, sorry, I agree, mate. I'm just seeing, and I would, but Kev's the one in control of the stream today.
What am I doing? What am I getting? I'm not looking down that far.
Ornstein's tweet, if you can pull up. Don't bring it up, just check on Twitter. I need to go on my Twitter.
Whose tweet? Ornstein's, is it?
Yeah.
It's been David Ornstein. Come on, Ornstein, where are you? Come on. David Ornstein. Has tweeted.
God. Oh, yeah.
Fabinho tries to add in jeopardy, talks ongoing, and all parties committed to deal.
Bring that up if you can, please.
Yeah. So I can share that in the page. Share screen, present, share screen, share screen. Which one am I on? David Ornstein. There you go. And share.
Big up there.
That should be. There you go. So how do I zoom in on that?
It's all right. Yeah, I just closed your messages there.
My message is that. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah.
Doing a John Barnes.
I know, yeah. Just Jack. And sending me a link. That's it. So why is my messages still up there? I've got no messages on my screen. Anyway, I don't know. Don't ask me. David Ornstein should be here. Oh, it's popping back up. That's why.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That was the main one. Nice one for that, Ant.
Okay.
That is mad though, Kev, and that just goes to the point what we've all been discussing today, mate. Like, could you imagine? Like, is there still a way back for Fabinho if this doesn't go through?
No, he'd be sold anyway.
Yeah, like
you can't integrate yourself back into the team like that if you were just willing to take the bobs and go and say I'm giving up. He's probably gotten at the conversation with the manager. I can't do this anymore, and then go on and say, "Oh, maybe I can do it." Sorry, dude. We're not leaving you sit on the bench.
Yeah. So does that indicate that we've just been speaking about attitude? just reading there. So the 29-year-olds, there's a delay on the 29-year-olds to resume LFC training on Wednesday unless breakthrough made. So what day are we on today? Not tomorrow?
Just tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, so he's expected
Absolutely
to
nothing to do with these dogs.
Yeah, there we go. So, well, there was rumours this week as well, Kev, that Bayern was supposedly meant to be going in for them.
All right.
Reckon he might have had was Pauline.
I was having a quick look at Pauline there because she's been trending there on my thing, so just having a quick look at that. No, Ricky's been at it. FSGO is trending right now, lads. Ricky's been at it. Yeah, so I don't know what that is. Said most keen on Joe Paulinho. No, it's a lot of crap.
Don't be showing that.
I didn't mean to. Yeah, I just realized. Yeah. So yeah, but look, I'm screen sharing. It's not our author. Anyway, let's get this off the screen. How do you get this off? There we go. All right, so there you go. Lads, I'm not used to this kind of thing. I use OBS, so I'm not used to stream yet.
Oh god, Kev's getting in trouble. We're nice one, lad. But yeah, lads, nice one for that answer anyway. Nice one, Kev, for showing that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, in the next couple of days, Fabinho is professional. If he does come back tomorrow, Liverpool Football Club, but I don't want it to be unprofessional, to say the least anyway. I don't think Fabinho would, but potentially there'll be other clubs that'll be looking for a DM. Yeah. But it just depends, similar with Kev, if he does come back. If we do get the...
Who's at PSG? They'd look at...
PSG. Well, they've just got Ugarte. I don't think he'll go
yeah, Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting though, Kev, but I'm just hoping it doesn't go sour. Nice one for that. Imagine Fabinho... yeah.
Oh, sorry. Did they skip past one there, did they? Imagine Fabinho, yeah?
Oh, no, yeah, because I'm a bit further down anyway. I can see...
okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go down. Which way do you want me to go from? Because if we're on a point to answer questions. Imagine if Fabinho... Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all good. Big up there. Who's that? Is that Ryan as well? Big up there, Ryan, in the comments. Absolute legend as well, lad. Has he still got that? Right. There's a couple of comments above there, lad.
It's the boys.
Why is Ronaldo centre back there, Ryan, lad? I think you can't have an icon centre back Ronaldo there, lad. But Kev, any closing points as well, mate? And chat, let us know. Liverpool get back underway. Obviously, the Leicester and obviously the Bayern Munich game are massive. But Reds, pray and cross your fingers that Liverpool don't get injuries in this pre-season. That's the main thing, Kev. But it'll be interesting, the developments in terms of Fabinho. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Shout out your socials, Kev, please.
Yeah.
And
what have you got coming up, lads? First of all, appreciate any of you that do follow me on Facebook and YouTube as well. I appreciate that. As my channel on Facebook it just passed like 3,005 or something viewers. But then when I looked last night, and in one day it went up by another 70 again, which is unbelievable. So it's been flying, and I've been almost at 800,000 reach, which is fantastic. So I appreciate any of you guys that have been watching on Facebook and YouTube. No, if I can catch up on YouTube, that'd be great. But that'd be awesome. But look, you'll find me everywhere Liverpool and football wise at Spider LFC on YouTube, Spider LFC on Facebook. You'll find me gaming wise at Irish Spider Guy on YouTube, which is just Spider, and you'll find me at Irish Spider Guy on Twitch and Spider on Facebook, and also me, Jack, and every other panel member that's going to be getting involved in the Kitmen is just after getting sponsored as well. So I can give a shout out to that channel because they haven't paid enough to sponsor on Jack's channel yet.
Oh, you never know. I'll probably get sponsored by. Well, speaking of our tea bags yesterday, you never know. But always welcome on the channel, mate. A massive thank you. I just said because of it's literally happening at a swear Fabrizio, if you're watching, lads.
Yeah.
Bit naughty, that lad. He's just tweeted something in relation to might have to do another show. Could go for another hour.
What's going on there? Let me have a look. Sio has said what?
As well. Understand Liverpool have approached Southampton for Lavia. Talks
minute
on
ago.
player side have been ongoing for more than 1 month. Jackson
So we
Willis
just
is leading talks now for Southampton and insist on 50 million package for the deal. Lavia remains one of the top candidates in LFC's list. So it seems like that Lavia, they're not budging Southampton on the reported £50 million evaluation of the midfielder anyway. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, in all honesty. Liverpool need to get their man, need to get over it, pay the money, what they need as well, get that sort of boxed off, get Fabinho boxed off, get him off the club if he wants to go, let him go. And yes, but as Wolf's saying there, potentially the reports, especially over the last today, are reported 35 million plus add-ons. So probably Southampton wanting a bit more upfront, probably a bit more 40 million, but we'll find out, Wolf. But Reds, a massive thank you to every single one of you. Apologies if we haven't read through all your comments. We tried our best, but you're absolute bloody legends. Really do appreciate every single one of you for commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing. If you are watching on the repeats, make sure you head over to the Spider LFC. Drop Kev a follow. Let's get him, Niall, and the lads all up to 1K. Be much appreciated. But stay tuned on the channel, socials as well. Follow us on TikTok. A lot more short form content. TikTok, the shorts on YouTube as well. There'll be a lot more content coming out in there.
A lot of talk there, Jack. Sorry about the Nasio coming as well. It's just popping up everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, so because Caldwell is unreachable apparently. So for valuation wise, so there's a lot of heads spoken about in Nasio. So just keep an eye on that space for the meantime until somebody big tweets about it.
Yeah, so big up there, Kev. Big up chat as well. We haven't dropped a like on the video before on the way out. Make sure you do. Massively helps out the algorithm gods as well. But big up there, Wolf. Big up to every single one. You see that bloody legends. Have a lovely rest of your Tuesday. And if anything breaks or whatnot, me, Kev, and the lads will jump on and we'll discuss, debrief, and everything. But nice one, Kev.
No matter.
You're in control, lad. You need to end the stream because I might need to go off the shops to get a mouse because it's a bit dead. The mouse anyway. And
you know what, lads? I could leave this turned on and just have you watch Jack eat his scran in a minute. You know, and you know, it's just
that is certainly.
You'll have to hide over the corner behind the camera just months away. Yeah.
That is certainly a sight no one wants to be seeing. Saying that, I left the stream on one. If you're an OG of the channel, I was literally sat there eating my scran for about 20 minutes. Looked over and seen the comments, and I was like, "Oh, nice." Hello, everyone. I was like, "Oh."
Jack, it's not as worse as I've done, lads. When I've done my gaming thing over the last couple of years, I could sit here and I could have a nice bottle of whiskey next to me or something like that, and I could be playing a bit of First Class Trouble or a bit of Call of Duty or something like that, and I'd be sitting at about 3 o'clock in the morning going like this. And then everybody's like, Kev's falling asleep, give him a ring, and they'll be all putting noises in my ear going bing, 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 bing. I've done that. So I suffer with sleep apnea, so sometimes if I'm in a room for too long, I can get kind of sleepy. So I'll mix that with alcohol and probably a bottle of it, and it can't be too helpful. So yeah, it's happened to me a couple of times. I don't care. It's just funny.
It's all good anyway.
It's all good.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Just
Kev,
character.
Yeah, great character in the words of Kev, overlay if you can, please, la. And then,
what's the overlay?
Just the thumbnail. The thumbnail.
Just the thumbnail.
That's how we use it. Chat, I'll be sorting a bloody outro in a.
That's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
The stream's quite.
That's. He didn't even pay me.
The brands. I'll pay you back in cup of teas or.
Sorry. So am I 1, 2, or 3 there? P. Do I want before all?
No, just end the stream now.
Just end. Right, look at him. I'll do it that way. Good luck.
See you later, chat. Thank you for tuning in.